Chris, what is our fourth main topic today?
Our fourth topic comes from Owen White. Hey, Campea crew. With Henry out of soups, it seems he's going to star and executive produce a Warhammer 40k series for Amazon. This seems perfect. Henry is a massive fan of Warhammer, and Amazon seems like the perfect studio because to do 40k justice, it needs to be expensive AF. Thoughts? My brother and my dad did all the little figurines and everything, but that's my only knowledge of this franchise.
I remember my buddy Rodney, for some of you who know me all the way back from the movie blog days, my buddy Rodney wrote on the movie blog with me as well. He got me into Warhammer 40k. And the problem with Warhammer 40k, it's an expensive hobby, man. Mm-hmm. It's an expensive time, or at least as expensive as you want to make it. But it's fun. I mean, Ann and I still go to a lot of gaming shops where they have the full tables all dedicated out with the structures and all that kind of stuff. Break out your measuring sticks and your blast radiuses and all that kind of stuff. Warhammer 40k is a really fun game. And Warhammer 40k is kind of like poker in the way that you can actually pick up on it really quick, but it takes a long time to get really good at it. And a lot of friends that I have get so into it, they buy the individual figures. They will go in and spend weeks painting their figures and all that kind of stuff. And one of the guys who is Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's been a Warhammer 40k gamer for a long time. He loves this game. He has dreamed about making Warhammer 40k. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how on earth you do it. Because they just said this thing would be as expensive as AF. Yeah, it's going to take Amazon money to make this kind of thing. Like, I don't know how you do it. This is going to be a really, really expensive thing. Anyway, this comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter, who wrote the following. Henry Cavill may not be donning the red cape, but he does have a cool new gig. The actor, who Wednesday officially hung up his Man of Steel cape after Warner Brothers announced it's going in a new Superman direction, is attached to star and executive produce a series adaptation of Warhammer 40k, the popular science fiction fantasy miniature war game that is set up at Amazon. Amazon is in the final talks now for the rights to the game. It looks like they're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's to secure the rights now. Amazon is in final talks for rights to the game, produced by Games Workshop after months of negotiations and fending off rival companies that also sought the rights. So, look, this is a bit of speculation here. But, there was a lot of people, we've tried to debunk this as much as we can. People say, well, he left The Witcher to do Superman, and now he never left The Witcher to do Superman. No one anywhere that's not Henry, that is Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill never said, his reps, nobody ever said the reason he left Witcher was for Superman. We've tried to express that a lot. This is probably what he left Witcher for. Again, that's just me speculating. Don't take that as fact. Henry Cavill didn't say this, but you are going to a dream project of yours that you are going to star in and help shape and be the executive producer on. He could not do this and The Witcher at the same time. So my guess is, and if they're announcing this now, that means this has been in the works for a while. I'm guessing this is why he left Witcher and why he would. And if you want to know just how passionate Henry Cavill is about this, Jonathan, you can bring up my screen here for this. Henry Cavill got on social media and he wrote the following. He said, Henry Cavill wrote, "For 30 years, I have dreamt of seeing a Warhammer universe in live action. Now, after 22 years of experience in this industry, I finally feel I have the skill set and experience to guide a Warhammer cinematic universe into life." Listen to that. He's not just acting in it, he is guiding a Warhammer cinematic universe in life. Because I tell you what, he knows more about Warhammer 40k than anybody else working on this thing. Other than maybe Games Workshop, nobody else knows more about Warhammer 40k than he does. To guide a Warhammer cinematic universe into life, partnering with Natalie Viscuso at Vertigo has been a blessing beyond words. Without her, we might not have found the perfect home at Amazon. And having a home like Amazon will give us the freedom to be true to the massive scope of Warhammer. To all of you Warhammer fans out there, I promise to respect this IP that we love. I promise to bring you something familiar, and I endeavor to bring you something fantastic that is, as of yet, unseen. Our first steps to find our filmmaker/creator/writer. Watch this space, my friends, for the Emperor. You are never going to find a guy who is more passionate. You're not going to find a guy who is established in Hollywood who is more passionate, more excited, more devoted to something like a Warhammer 40k than Henry. Now, we have seen many times that just because you're a big fan of something does not know you know how to make it into something good. We've seen that happen over and over and over and over again. But I cannot help but be thrilled for Henry on this. This is something he has dreamt about, that he has envisioned, that he has maybe probably thought he'd never get to do it. But now in the age of streaming, and you got people like Amazon who have like more money than anybody other than Apple. I mean, this is something, but again, how on earth they're going to be able to bring this to life it is going to be a feat. And listen, think what you want about the Lord of the Rings series at Amazon. Whatever you think about it, there are people who love it, people who hated it. That's fine. One thing almost everybody agreed on is they did not fail when it comes to production value. Like, you're not going to find many people, even those who hated that series. And there are those who did. I mean, there's a good number of those who did. Even amongst them, you'll go, oh yeah, but I'll give them that. It looked fantastic. And so you partner up somebody with the passion of a Henry Cavill, the star power of a Henry Cavill. You put it together with Amazon, who look like they're going to give him free reign and fund him to do it. This could be a lot of fun. We want to thank a sponsor of this video, MasterClass. MasterClass offers classes on a wide variety of topics, all taught by world-class instructors at the very top of their fields. Each class is broken out into individual video lessons, usually around 10 minutes long. And MasterClass is completely accessible on your phone, the web, smart TV, and available via audio mode to listen to classes on the go. They have over 2,500 video lessons from over 180 of today's most brilliant minds. They're all available anytime, anywhere on iOS, Android, desktop, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Now, obviously around here on the John Campea Show, we love our movies, so why not learn filmmaking from Jodie Foster, or maybe directing from Ron Howard himself, or the great Neil Gaiman doing his masterclass on the art of storytelling. And you guys have heard me talk about my favorite masterclass, Business Strategy and Leadership by Big Papa Iger himself, Bob Iger, the new and returning CEO of Disney. Guys, I highly recommend that you check it out. This holiday, give the perfect gift of an annual masterclass membership and get one free. Go to masterclass.com/Campea today. That's masterclass.com/Campea. Terms apply. Rob, there's probably, I'm going to venture a guess that maybe only 15% of the people watching the show have ever played Warhammer. But you got to be excited that you got a guy like Henry Cavill who's got something he's so passionate about. It's going to be this big, incredible, epic scope, Game of Thrones like sci-fi extravaganza. Anyway, Rob, you're hearing about this report. What's your takeaway from it?
Bro. Okay, first of all, for those of you who want to see what a potential Warhammer 40k movie or series could look like, there's an incredible fan film, and forgive my pronunciation, called Astartes, Astartes.
I have not seen this.
It's incredible. Now, the plot isn't really there, but like these are the Warhammer gaming miniatures, well painted, and the armor and stuff like that. There are novels. There's so much material to draw from. By the way, Harlequin army is my army of choice. But this could be incredible, and the look could be amazing. I mean, it has kind of it's almost a cross between, the armor doesn't look modern. It has like the ships are like armored sailing ships. It's almost like a cross between something Leiji Matsumoto would do in Japanese anime and then World War I Germany in space. I mean, the look of it. I mean, huge citadel spaceship. It's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. And it could be visually, it could be different than any other franchise. And when you watch that Astartes movie, you see like, oh, this is something new. And anybody who plays the game knows, but there's so much backstory and so much stuff to draw upon. This could be an endless universe that continues on. I mean, I could see them doing a Game of Thrones series and then a House of the Dragon in the Warhammer 40k universe. It could be dope. And anyone who plays it, I mean, the people that I've met who play it, I mean, I used to work with this guy who, I mean, he had boxes of armies. And then when you have people come to the studio, they would set up massive, like you talked about the buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, like a football field.
This guy,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's stuff like that. I mean,
channel.
that's the kind of stuff that's it's insanity.
Yeah.
But
He
you
has
have
almost
to-
150,000 figures.
Yeah,
Dear
that's probably $150 million. I mean, the stuff that they make, it's so cool. The franchise is so cool.
I highly recommend, guy. If you know a buddy or two or are just looking for something really interesting to do one night, find a local game shop in your town. Find a local game shop, go down and check it out, and almost guaranteed they'll have the tables set up with the Warhammer environments and all that kind of stuff. It's impressive.
Emerald
Anyway,
Knights in Burbank has it.
well, yeah, there's several in the area that do. But anyway, Chris, you hear about this. Henry Cavill's doing Warhammer 40k. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned before, too, this is in a world that I'm particularly familiar with, aside from my brother and my dad really loving it, and then following Roll Colley's tweets about him painting stuff and doing it, which thank you for manifesting this so much for him. That was wonderful. He was joking on Twitter about how, like, he should have manifested something for himself, not Henry Cavill. But I think this is really, really great. You know, Henry Cavill is somebody who is... secretly, he's been climbing the ladder, becoming king of the nerds, right? Where we keep finding about him like making his own PCs and being so into Warhammer and loving The Witcher so much that he read the Polish series and those novelizations. You know, when he loves something, he loves it hard. And so I think this amount of passion behind it is going to be really, really stellar. People in the chat, I think the Richard were describing this, and tell me if this is kind of how Warhammer goes. Treasure Planet meets Starship Troopers.
That's yeah.
That's not bad.
By the way, I'm putting
That's
this
not
thing in
bad.
the
I'm
live
bringing in
chat.
then.
The
I'm
movie in
in.
the live chat.
Oh,
if you want
thank
to see
you.
that movie, it's in the
Perfect.
live chat now. But it's more than that. I mean, it's you know, they take all the different kinds of empires that have existed on the earth and the different. It's very political. And by the way, there's a weekly magazine that they publish.
Oh, wow.
That has painting tips and articles about the games and all that. But I did just
really
put
cool.
the short film in the live chat. It's pretty impressive.
Well, it's an immersive game because it's not just something you get together and play. Like you then spend your week assembling your figures, painting them, all like individualizing them, and there's a bunch of different races, and there's all this. It's pretty fun. Like there's a Star Wars. I'm trying to remember the name of the Star Wars. Me and Jeremy Johns used to play where it's a tabletop game and you get the individual ships, the TIE fighters and the X-Wings. It's basically based on the mechanics of Warhammer as well.
Right.
But if you've played that basically finds its home from Warhammer 40k. I still remember one of my favorite lines ever when Henry Cavill was anointed king of the nerds when he made that PC assembly, that gaming PC
When he
assembly.
made that porn.
Yeah, and I still remember I think it was one of the female journalists at IGN. I think it was. Don't hold me to that, but I think it was. But when he did that gaming computer build video, I remember she wrote on Twitter, like thousands of women across America spontaneously became pregnant from watching that video. It's like he kind of became, and by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he told the story once about how he almost didn't answer the call that he got the Superman role because he was in the middle of a raid on Warhammer or Warcraft. He was playing Warcraft. And they were raiding, and he's like, he saw that the call was coming from his agent. He wasn't going to answer the call. And then, I better answer it. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Have you ever even heard of Warhammer 40k? It's not a mainstream popular thing like, say, a Pokemon is or something like that. But amongst like tabletop gamers, it's a pretty solid thing. Are you familiar with it? What do you think about Henry Cavill getting this? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.